University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. The second phase of the quarter-finals begins tonight, with each of the 8 remaining teams having already played once in this stage of the competition, and the 4 teams that picked up a win will be looking to secure one more, and with it their place in the semi-finals. The 4 teams that lost their first quarter-final will need to avoid a second defeat if they're to remain in the competition. Tonight's 2 teams are both in the latter camp, meaning whoever loses tonight will be leaving us for good. The team from the University of Birmingham faced minimal resistance in rounds 1 and 2 of the competition, passing the 200-point mark on both occasions, first against Sussex University and then against the University of St Andrews, with just 60 points scored in total against them. Reading University soon put a stop to that, though, beating them in their first quarter-final match by 170 points to 135, with an accumulated score of 605 points from 3 matches and with an average age of 29. Let's meet the Birmingham team again.
Hi, I'm Mark McParlin. I'm from Crosby, Liverpool, and I'm studying history and English.
Hi, I'm John Robinson. I'm originally from Sevenoaks in Kent, but I now live in Birmingham, and I'm studying for a Masters in Literature and Culture.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm Michael Joel Bartel. I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm doing a PhD in Shakespeare Studies.
Hi, I'm Jamie Saget. I'm from Derby and I study medicine.
Now, the team from King's College London have had a somewhat bumpier ride up to this point, beginning with a narrow first-round win over the University of Glasgow. In round 2, they beat Hertford College, Oxford, with relative ease, but their first quarter-final match saw them take on their rivals Imperial College London, who barely let them get a word in. With a total score of 330 points across their 3 matches so far, and with an average age of 23, let's meet the King's team again.
Hi, I'm Anand Satyanath. I'm from Fareham in Hampshire, and I'm studying medicine.
Hello, I'm Rachel Bedwin. I'm from South East London and I'm partway through a PhD in developmental biology.
Their captain.
Hello, I'm Atiyah Rashid. I'm from Daventry in Northamptonshire and I recently graduated with a bachelor's degree in philosophy.
Hi, my name's Oliver Beard. I'm from South East London and I've just finished an MA in the history of war.
Let's not bother with the rules then, because you all know them by now better than I do. So let's get on with it. 10 points for this. Meanings of what 5-letter word include in nutrition the edible seeds of leguminous plants cultivated for food? In physics, a short burst of radiated energy.
Kingsbeard.
Pulse.
Pulse is correct, yes. Now, your bonuses are on place names that contain within them the surname of a starship captain from the Star Trek franchise. In each case, give the place name from the description. Firstly, a town in Fife, across the Firth of Forth from Edinburgh. It was the birthplace of the economist Adam Smith.
I feel like it's Ormskirk, as in Captain Kirk.
Sure.
Is it Ormskirk?
No, it isn't Ormskirk, it's in Lancashire. It's Kirkcaldy. Secondly, a Mediterranean island roughly halfway between Barcelona and Algiers.
Clue on this?
Barcelona, Algiers.
I don't know
think
any other Star Trek captain except for
I don't know Star Trek.
No. We're going to have to pass.
It's Majorca. Thirdly, the historical region of France, which in 2016 merged with Nord-Pas-de-Calais to form the Hauts-de-France region.
That's Picard, isn't it? Because it's Picardy.
Yes. Is that Picard? Picardy.
Now, you were asked for the historical region of France, which, as you said, was Picardy, and I had to take your first answer as you give it, which was Picard. Right, 10 points for this. Originally meaning a godparent or sponsor, what word came to mean a woman's female friend invited to be present at a birth, but is now used negatively for a person who passes
Birmingham Robinson.
Doula.
No, you lose 5 points. You can hear the rest of the question. But is now used negatively for a person who passes on trifling or prurient rumours, especially concerning the private affairs of others.
King's Rashid.
A gossip?
Gossip is correct, yes. Right, you get a set of bonuses on a work of non-fiction. The Birth of Britain, The New World, The Age of Revolution and The Great Democracies are the 4 volumes of which major historical work by Winston Churchill?
History of the English-speaking peoples.
History of the English-speaking peoples.
Correct. For 10 years, he led the armies of the Grand Alliance. He never fought a battle he did not win or besieged a town he did not take. Churchill uses those words to describe which of his ancestors?
That's Marlborough.
Duke Marlborough.
The Duke of Marlborough is correct, yes. And finally, of whom did Churchill write, he ranks with Marlborough as the greatest Englishman in the century between 1689 and 1789, the first great figure of British imperialism?
Clive of India, maybe?
Clive of India?
No, it was William Pitt the Elder. Right, 10 points for this. In genetics, what term denotes a single organism composed of cells with distinct genotypes, such as an animal derived from the merger of 2 fertilised eggs?
King's Bedwin.
Chimera.
Chimera is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on a chemical compound. Firstly, the crystalline mineral chalcanthite is the pentahydrate form of what compound? Other names for it include blue vitriol.
Anand?
Something silicony. Silicon dioxide. Maybe?
Nominate Satyanath.
Silicon dioxide.
Bad luck, no. It's copper sulfate. In 2008, which Birmingham-born artist used concentrated copper sulfate solution to fill a London bedsit with crystals in his work entitled Caesia?
No. No one? We're going to have to pass.
It was Roger Hyones. Named after a 19th century German chemist, which test for aldehydes or reducing sugars uses 2 reagents, copper sulfate and a solution of Rochelle salt in alkali.
Is that Benedict's?
I think so.
Yeah, Benedict's
Is that
test.
Benedict's test?
No, it's Fehling's test. Right, we're going to take another starter question now. The German Emil Behring won the first Nobel Prize in medicine.
Birmingham Saget.
Neutrons.
I'm afraid you lose 5 points. The citation noting his development of an effective serum against what serious contagious disease identified by the first letter of the DPT vaccine?
King's Bedwin.
Diphtheria.
Diphtheria is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on events which took place in years that are multiples of 100. I want you to give me the number of centuries that separate the 2 events in each question. Firstly, the crowning of, respectively, Charlemagne as Holy Roman Emperor and Stephen I as King of Hungary, both on Christmas Day.
I think that's 100 years, so 800 and 900.
Is that 100 years, 800 and 900?
No, it's 200 years, 800 and 1,000. The Battle of Cattraeth, secondly, in which the invading Angles won a victory against the Brythonic Godothin people, and the Battle of Sekigahara, which saw a decisive victory for the future Tokugawa shogun.
So that's 1600 and something else. So it's either, I think, 600 or 700, so I'm going to say 1,000 years.
Yeah, I'd say 600, because that's when it's the
Yes.
most
Is it 1,000 years?
It is 1,000 years, yes. The deaths of England's Richard II, arguably leading to the Wars of the Roses, and Spain's Charles II, leading to the War of the Spanish Succession.
So Charles II was 1700.
1300.
1300, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so 400 years, 1300 and 1700.
No, it's 300 years. Bad luck. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see the family tree of the central characters of a series of novels. The surname of the family has been removed. For 10 points, please give the missing surname.
King's Rashid.
Corleone.
Corleone is correct. So we follow on from Mario Puzo's novel The Godfather with 3 more fictional family trees. For 5 points each, give the surname of the family shown. First, this family from a Spanish language novel.
I don't know. Anyone?
I don't know.
Quixote.
Is it Don Quixote?
No. The family name was Trueba from The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. Secondly, this family, who, along with the Hamiltons, are the central characters in an American novel.
Oh, this is East of Eden, but I can't remember the surname.
Okay.
I think
Anyone? Any suggestions? No? Anything, Rachel?
I can't think of anything.
We don't know.
It's Trask. You had the right book. And finally, this family.
The Buendias from 100 Years of Solitude by Marquez.
That's correct. Well done. 10 points for this. What two-letter name is shared by a supercontinent thought to have formed around 3 billion years ago and an ancient Sumerian city known for its monumental ziggurat?
Birmingham McParlin.
You are.
You are is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on characters in Homer's Odyssey, according to the scholar and translator Emily Wilson. Which character in the Odyssey does Wilson describe as canny, strong-willed and loyal, a competent, mostly single mother who shows deep love for her difficult, moody son?
Penelope. Okay, yeah. Penelope.
Correct. Wilson contrasts Penelope with, quote, elite wives who do scary things. She cites which two sisters, one of whom abandons her husband for another man, while the other helps her lover murder her husband?
So this is
I need both names.
Clytemnestra and Helen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Clytemnestra and Helen.
Correct. According to Wilson, who is, quote, a wonderfully gender-fluid goddess who protects and saves her favourite human, Odysseus?
Oh, Circe? Is she the one that
Is Circe a friendly god? Yeah, go for it.
protects her favorite? No. Circe?
No, it's Athena.
Oh.
10 points for this. In Shakespeare's Henry V, what animals does the Archbishop of Canterbury describe as creatures that, by a rule in nature, teach the act of order to a peopled kingdom? They are later said to make boot upon the summer's velvet buds, which pillage they with
King
merry march
Satyanath.
bring home.
Ants.
No, you lose 5 points. Which pillage they with merry march bring home.
Birmingham Robinson.
Dogs.
No, it's bees.
Oh, gosh.
10 points for this. What year appears in the title of the poem by Wordsworth that begins, Milton, thou shouldst be living at this hour? The same year saw the arrival of the Rosetta Stone in Britain, the signing of the Treaty of Amiens, and Napoleon's appointment.
King's Beard.
1802.
1802 is correct, yes. You get a set of bonuses this time on medical physics. The string galvanometer was an early form of what diagnostic apparatus? Its creator, Willem Einthoven, gave his name to a
ECG.
triangle showing how to use it on patients.
ECG.
Is it the ECG?
That is correct, yes. Which three consecutive letters of the alphabet precede the word complex for the section of an ECG trace that shows ventricular depolarization?
QRS complex.
Yes.
QRS.
QRS.
Correct. Which Czech scientist gives his name to the branching fibres in the subendocardium?
Nominate
Elect-
Satyanath.
Purkinje.
Purkinje fibres is correct, yes. Right, 10 points for this. Its name deriving from a French word meaning watered silk and seen, for example, in folded layers of net curtains. What effect gives broad interference bands when two regularly spaced line patterns overlap at an angle?
King Satyanath.
Moire.
Moire is correct, yes. Your bonus is on French art in the 1830s. Exhibited in 1833, View of the Forest of Fontainebleau is an early work by which prolific French landscape painter associated with the Barbizon school?
No suggestions. I'm going to say David.
You love David.
Is it David?
No, it's Corot. Published in the mid-1830s, Reminiscences of My Life is a memoir by which Parisian artist, noted for her numerous portraits of Marie Antoinette?
Any suggestions?
No.
Katya Johnston?
No, it's Elizabeth Vigée-Lebrun. Women of Algiers in Their Apartment, Fanatics of Tangier and Jewish Wedding are among the works of the 1830s and 40s by which major French romantic painter?
Is that
Go
David?
for it.
Possibly. Is that David?
No, that's by Delacroix.
Oh.
Right, we're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you're going to hear a piece of popular music. 10 points if you can identify the group.
3, that's a magic number. Yes, it is. It's the magic number.
King Satyanath.
The Beastie Boys.
No? You can hear a little more Birmingham if you wish.
Pop song community.
Birmingham Robinson.
De La Soul.
De La Soul is correct. Well, that track samples the drum break from James Brown's Funky Drummer, played by Clyde Stubblefield. For your bonuses, you'll hear 3 more of the many tracks that also sample Funky Drummer. Identify the group or artist in each case. First for 5 points.
Is this, gosh.
This could be the Beastie Boys.
It is, yeah, I think so. The Beastie Boys?
It is the Beastie Boys. Secondly,
Something like Public Enemy,
I think. Yeah, Public Enemy.
Public Enemy is correct. And finally,
It's like Dougie Fresh.
no, it's Run DMC. OK, 10 points for this. The 1899 tone poem Transfigured Night is an early work by which Austrian-born composer who
Birmingham
later published
Bartel.
Schoenberg.
Schoenberg is correct, yes. These bonuses are on literary works. Give the 2 title characters of the 19th century poem that includes the words honey, money, small guitar, mince, quince, and runcible spoon.
Owl and the Pussycat.
Correct, Edward Lear. The Owl Service is a 1967 work by which Cheshire-born author, also noted for Redshift and Elidor.
67.
67.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No.
Just pass.
Pass.
That's by Alan Garner. Owl Post is the first chapter of what fictional work, first published in 1999, and one of a series of 7 novels.
It's going to be one of the Harry Potters, but I think probably the second. So Harry
Owl,
Potter.
1999.
So it's going to be the second one, I think.
Post. The Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, the second one, I think.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
No, it's Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, gosh, okay.
10 points for this. Who is being described, appointed Children's Laureate in 2013 and the editor of the anthology Unheard Voices. Her fiction includes Chasing the Stars, Cloud Busting, John for Short, and Naught Forever.
Birmingham Bartel.
Blackman.
Mallory Blackman is correct. Your bonuses are on astronomy. With a mean diameter of about 530 kilometres, what is the brightest asteroid as seen from Earth, occasionally reaching a magnitude of about 5.5, which makes it invisible to the naked eye? It was orbited by NASA's Dawn spacecraft in 2011 and 2012.
Ceres is the biggest. So.
Yeah, Ceres.
No, it's Vesta.
Oh, goodness, okay.
Dawn confirmed that Vesta is the parent body of about 6% of the meteorites found on Earth, a meteorite clan known by the acronym HED. That's H-E-D. Give me any of the 3 meteorite groups that gave rise to that acronym.
Hesperides, maybe?
Yeah. Hesperides?
No, it's Howardite, Eucrite, and Diogenite. Larger than Vesta, which asteroid did Dawn orbit from March 2015?
Yeah, Ceres.
Ceres is correct. 10 points for this. Born in Birmingham, William Wyan served at which government body from 1816 until his death in 1851? His designs include Una and the Lion and the much reproduced Young Head, both depicting Queen Victoria.
Kingsbeard.
Royal Mail.
No?
Birmingham Robinson.
Royal Mint.
Royal Mint is correct, yes. A set of bonuses now on beaches. Regularly voted one of Britain's best beaches, Barafundle Bay lies a few miles southwest of Tenby, in which national park?
Tenby.
It's Pembrokeshire Coast.
Okay.
Pembrokeshire Coast.
Correct. Sometimes likened to locations in the tropics, Luskintyre Beach is on the west coast of which large Hebridean island?
Large Hebridean Islands.
Skye.
Skye, all usual ones. Try Skye.
Skye.
No, it's Harris.
Large.
An annual skinny dip to raise money for mental health charities takes place at Druridge Bay, a 7-mile-long beach in which English county?
I've not heard of it.
Somewhere on the south coast. I
Somewhere Sussex, maybe? Or
was thinking like Cornwall or Devon.
Yeah, try.
Cornwall.
I don't know, Devon. I don't know.
All right. Devon.
No, it's Northumberland, a lot chillier. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see an illustration of a 19th century poem. For 10 points, give me the poem's title.
Birmingham Robinson.
The Raven.
The Raven is correct. Well done. So your picture bonuses follow on from Manet's illustration for Edgar Allan Poe's poem The Raven, and your bonuses are 3 more illustrations of Poe's works by artists of new art movements that emerged in the late 19th century. This time I want you to give me the name of each artist. Firstly, this British artist.
Okay, British art.
19th century, did we say?
Yeah, new art. So it's going to be. Oh gosh, I don't recognize.
I've not got much on this.
Let's say. I don't know. Rossetti.
No, it's Arthur Rackham. It's illustrating the fall of the House of Usher. Secondly, this French artist.
Okay, I think this is Gustave Doré.
Okay, go for it.
Gustave Doré.
No, it's not. It's Redon.
Okay.
Finally, another British artist.
Oh, this is Aubrey Beardsley, I'm pretty sure. Aubrey Beardsley.
It is Aubrey Beardsley. Well done. 10 points for this. Spoken by only a few thousand people, the Sibo language of the Ili Valley in northwestern China is a close relative of what moribund language, once an official language of the Qing Empire?
Birmingham Bartel.
Mongolian.
No.
Kings Rashid.
Manchu.
Manchu is correct, yes. These bonuses are on anthropologists for you, Kings. Burned by the Nazis, The Mind of Primitive Man was a 1911 work by which German-born US anthropologist, a teacher of Edward Sapir and Zora Neale Hurston?
Oh, gosh, who was the guy who was big into sort of sex psychology, whose name I can't remember, drawing blanks. Any suggestions? We're going to have to pass.
That was by Franz Boas. Also a student of Boas, which US anthropologist's works include Zuni mythology, patterns of culture, and the chrysanthemum and the sword?
Oh, chrysanthemums. Is that Napoleon Chagnon?
No, it's Ruth Benedict. Which student of Boas wrote Growing Up in New Guinea and Coming of Age in Samoa?
Oh, is that Mary Beadley or something like that? Margaret Mead. Is that Margaret Mead?
It is Margaret Mead, yes. Right, 10 points for this. The ilium, ischium, and pubis are components...
Birmingham Bartel.
Pelvis.
Pelvis is correct. Your bonuses are on British politics this time, Birmingham. In each case, name the Prime Minister whom the following served as Home Secretary and Foreign Secretary, respectively. Firstly, Herbert Gladstone and Sir Edward Grey. I need only one of 2 Prime Ministers here.
Grey was in the First World War.
Could it be Asquith?
So I think...
We'll ask you before we go.
Asquith.
If you're in the First World War, it's going to be Asquith.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Asquith.
Asquith will do, yes. The other one was Henry Campbell Bannerman. Secondly, William Joynson Hicks and Austin Chamberlain.
Stanley Baldwin.
Okay, Stanley Baldwin.
Correct. And finally, James Shooter Eade and Ernest Bevin.
Served under Attlee.
Yeah.
Attlee.
Clement Attlee is correct. 10 points for this. The Hard Crowd is a collection of essays by which US author whose novels include Telex from Cuba, The Flamethrowers, and The Mars Room?
King Satyanath.
Kurt Vonnegut.
No, anyone want to buzz from Birmingham?
Birmingham Bartel.
Ray Bradbury.
No, it's Rachel Kushner. 10 points for this. In philosophy, what modern term denotes a school that emerged in the 3rd century AD, one of its key texts being the Enneads of Plotinus?
Kings Rashid.
Neoplatonism.
Correct. Right, your bonuses are on geometry. What is the highest order regular polygon that can be used to create a perfect tessellation or tiling of the plane?
Tessellation means it all fit
It all
together.
fits together, yeah.
Hexagons.
I feel like it's something like a hexagon. Is it a hexagon?
It is a hexagon, yes. The dual of the regular hexagonal tiling formed by lines that connect the centres of neighbouring hexagons creates a new tiling composed entirely of what regular polygons?
Triangles.
Yeah.
Triangles.
Correct. A feature of Islamic decoration, the pattern made by overlapping rows and columns of elongated pentagonal tilings is named after which major city in North Africa?
I think it's not Kufig, it's Timbuktu or something.
Timbuktu. Does that count as in
Cairo? Cairo?
Tripoli? I don't know.
Tunis.
I'm going to say Cairo.
Okay.
Is it Cairo?
Cairo is correct, yes. 10 points for this. In electronic signal processing and photonics, what short word means a change in a pulse's frequency with time? The same word can also refer to birdsong.
Birmingham Batal.
Modulation.
No? Anyone want to buzz from Kings?
King Sathinath.
Tittering.
No, it's a chirp. Right, 10 points for this. Which city in the Camargue Plain was built? And that was gone. Birmingham University have 115, King's College London have 140. Well, Birmingham, very sadly, I'm afraid we're going to have to say goodbye to you because you've now lost twice. Kings, you've got to win next time if you're going to stay in this contest. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you can join us next time for another quarter-final match. But until then, it's goodbye from Birmingham University.
Bye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from King's College London.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.